Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu and this is Toxic Deathland for Rollercoaster Tycoon Classic, part 15 of the Bugfix Scenario Pack. The water was deemed safe despite its suspicious colour and skepticism of the general public. You still better not advertise the visit of your park for liability reasons, just in case. Your objective to have at least 1,300 guests in your park. You must not let the park rating drop below 700 at any time. So it does mention something about advertising, but advertising is allowed. I don't really use it, so it doesn't really matter to me. So we've got very, very bright toxic water or liquid, and a lot of islands as well. Free admission, so we're charging for the rides. 1,300 isn't a lot of guests, but we do need to get it up and over the 700 rating as soon as we can. Okay, so we've got some transport rides, good selection of gentle rides. These will be good to begin with. We can put the things like these down very quickly in order to give the guests something to do as they come through the gate and get them happy. Decent selection of coasters to begin with. Okay, thrill rides, nothing great, but some water rides or toxic sludge rides, and not a very good selection of shops. This one here, in case you've never seen it, this was on possibly the Wacky Worlds expansion. So let's put my research into shops, because we're going to need to get the guests happy, and there's not that many shops, but there is tons of everything else. So I think what I'll do, I'll bring the path back and then continue it in a straight line rather than having this little bend. And then I think I'll just put down a couple of shops, put down a few rides. We'll keep the prices as they are, the default values, with the exception of the kiosk and the toilets. We'll reduce the map and the toilets down. Keep everything else the same, and then hopefully the guest rating will go up and over 700, and then we can start looking at charging more for everything. Mayo 1, almost 300 guests in the park rating over 800. We need it to be over 700. We're doing all right. The park rating's fine. So we've got what shops we did have at the start, kept the prices on default to begin with. Couple of little flat rides, not really fussed on the circus, but they're loving the flying saucers. So we've got the bridge just over there. It was at an angle and then coming down here, but I brought that back and brought it down straight, lowered it slightly as well. I thought it'd be quite cool to have a river rapids as well, just in there. Rabid Rapids, decent excitement, because we don't want to spend too much money on rides like this to begin with. And then just up here, then a couple of swinging inverter ships and a nice path loop as well. So we're going to drop down a few more rides. Got another kiosk and toilet as well. So I'm thinking then I can probably start putting the prices up to what I would normally charge for them, and just continue putting down some flat rides and shops. October year 1, 750 guests in a park. We only need 1,300, so probably won't take us that much longer to do now. So just across onto this first island, then we've got a hairpin coaster, Acid Rain. Decent stats on that. Just drops you down around the bend, up and then down, and then a series of bends, and then back to the station. What else we got? We got a twist, some motion simulators, and we've got a mini coaster just here with the rocket cars. Corrosive coaster. Decent stats. £10 a go on that one, and £10 a go on the other one. So we're making a lot of money on ride tickets, 7,000 a month. So that's going to fund all our rides. And then we've got another path loop just down here with a wooden wild mine train. Caustic curves. Decent stats on that as well. So we've got some space this side to build something. Here as well, we only need 525 guests, so we're probably not going to need to expand outside of this island. So I don't know why the goal is so low, and yet there's so much space. But I think, yeah, we'll just keep on plodding on. I think maybe next year I'll spend a bit more time maybe doing up the stations on the coasters and things like that, so we don't rush it. October year 2, just under 1,200 guests in the park. Got tons of cash, making a lot of money every month. So I spend a little bit of time. Maybe not so much this station, the pink one. It's not very good. The Rabbit Rapids, that's not bad. The red one, I quite like that. The orange one as well, that's pretty funky. That's a new ride. So that's a suspended coaster. Just drops down, up the chain left, down, and then does some little turns and back to the station. And then I've just built a looper just down here, the yellow and black one. So the suspended is called acidic suspension and toxic shock syndrome for the looper. So just shoots you out, loop, down, up the spike, and then round backwards, and then we've got the reverse spike there. So this year then, I've been researching coasters, and I've spent a little bit of time doing up the stations, so we didn't pass the scenario that quickly. And I've noticed the guest goal started to plateau, despite the addition of the looping coaster. So what that tells me is that we have probably got, and what I've also been doing, now we've got so much money, I've also been reducing the prices on some of the rides as well. Doesn't seem to have increased the number of guests. So I'm thinking we've got harder guest generation. So this one, what we need to do for that is we just need to build some coasters that are over around 2,000 feet and over 6 excitement. This one, it's already over that, so that one's fine. Let's have a look. The mini coaster, that's only 900 foot, so that would need to be twice as long. Hairpin, almost 1,200 feet. So that's potentially one that we can extend. The looper is probably going to be the easiest one, so I think I'll extend that, possibly extend the hairpin as well, and then we'll see what the guest numbers do. May year 3, 1,266 guests in the park. The guest numbers are going up. I've extended the looper, so that's over the 2,000 feet, and I've also extended the hairpin coaster as well. It's this pink monstrosity over there. Good stats though. So that's then check the boxes for the harder guest generation. So the guests are now starting to spawn again, and they're coming into the park at a greater rate than guests are leaving, and so the numbers are going up. Cool. So the looper launches as it did. It comes out, instead of the spike, it just comes over here, and then it's just got a series of bends and helixes, and then a few more bends over here. And then back to the station. So one thing I've done on this is I have purposely built the queue lines a little bit longer than I normally would. So the point behind that is to get more guests off the main path and onto the queues. That way there's less chance of people complaining about overcrowding. And it seems to have worked. The guest rating is up to maximum, and we're about to pass the scenario. And we've done it. Stew. Quite an easy one, that one. But then, having said that, we know how to do these harder guest generation scenarios now. I think if I had known it was a harder guest generation level to begin with, I probably would have arranged my coasters differently. I would have put some down as placeholders with the view of expanding. As it was, I didn't realize it was harder guest generation, so we had to expand sort of later, where maybe I hadn't left room for that. But in the end, it all worked out fine. This was Toxic Deathland. I am Toxic Stew. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Bye.